Let's talk about the Onyx Racing Preload tool. This tool is designed to be used primarily with our BMX hub line, but is also compatible with our mountain bike hubs. This tool does make things easier to adjust the preload when the wheel is off the bike or when you're handling multiple wheels at an event. To use this tool, you need a couple of other items, such as a 2.5mm hex driver or a pair of 20mm cone wrenches. Just depends which hub you're working on and what it calls for to adjust the preload. If you are working on a through axle hub, you will need a through bolt that can compress the hub against the preload tool completely. Let's take a look on a BMX wheel. This is our Ultra SS disc brake hub with the 10mm bolt-on axle. Now we're going to use the preload tool here over the drive side axle bolt to get a secure grip on the wheel to perform the adjustment. Take your hex key, tighten the axle bolt against the preload tool, and now you have a nice handle to hold onto the axle assembly, spin the wheel, check your preload, and adjust your side-to-side play on the hub. As you can see in this wheel, we do have quite a bit of side-to-side play that we're going to need to adjust out. Now on the Ultra SS disc, we do have a recessed preload collar, so we're going to rotate the axle around until we line up the set screw with the access hole, then use our 2.5 hex key to loosen the pinch bolt, and start rotating the preload collar clockwise to add tension to the axle system. Once the side-to-side play has been removed, give the wheel a spin, make sure you haven't overloaded the bearings, and now you can go ahead and lock down your adjustment and get it ready to go back on the bike. Now this was an easy adjustment, no bad bearings, but if you did have to replace the bearings and perform the adjustment, you can follow our other tutorials for that. Now let's go ahead and take this off, and we'll show you how to use this on a mountain bike wheel. Now for any kind of through bolt wheel, you do need to be able to compress the hub completely against the preload tool. So in this case, we're going to use a through bolt that has a bolt on each end. This allows us to compress the hub completely and get a proper adjustment using the preload tool. To demonstrate, we're going to use one of our Vesper mountain bike wheels. This has 142mm axle spacing, and this through bolt's just a little bit long. So we'll show you a trick here when installing on how to make that work. You're going to begin by sliding your through bolt through the brake side of the wheel so that the end sticks out of the drive side of the hub. And now because this axle is too long to compress against our preload tool, we're going to use an old bearing as a compression washer essentially to tighten against the preload tool. Now once you have that presented, go ahead and tighten the axle all the way until the hub is securely fastened against your preload tool. Use whichever hex key or wrench is needed to tighten the through bolt you're using. Once the hub is securely fastened to the preload tool, you can go ahead and check for side-to-side play in the axle, spin the wheel, check the bearings, perform the preload adjustment as needed. For the Vesper, it's a pair of 20mm cone wrenches. For the Classic, it's a 2.5mm hex key. Once you're happy with the adjustment, go ahead and spin the wheel, verify it's all good, and then you're ready to remove the preload tool and get the wheel back on the bike.